I'm on a mission to 3D print every single Pokeball. Today, we just wrapped up Season 3.
With our most recent episode with the Hisuian Heavy Ball, it concluded Season 3, and of course I wanted to go back and make another compilation of Season 2, starting with the remake of the Luxury Ball. And as a quick reminder, only 5% of y'all are subscribed, so if you're watching this video and you want to help me get to 10k before my birthday in May this year, maybe click that little button. Now let's get into the video. Day 29 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. So I know some of y'all in the comments are going to say something about this, and yes, you were not crazy. We did do this before. We have done this Pokeball before, and you may be wondering, oh, why am I doing it again? Well, the last one didn't really turn out that well. I don't know where the top of it went, so I kind of figured I wanted to redo it since it did not turn out the way I wanted it to. I don't know how I missed an entire plate, so we're going to do this here, make it look better. And like I said, I don't really think we're going to do a lot of these that are going to be remaking ones we already did. I could not stand looking at the Luxury Ball I made and continue having that on my shelf looking like that. But for today's Pokeball, we're going to be remaking the Luxury Ball. The Luxury Ball made its debut all the way back in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, and actually really only focused specifically on the friendship of your Pokemon, increasing it when you catch it with this Pokeball, and also giving it an amplifier when caught in it. So it gives them friendship when you catch them in it, and it gives them a multiplier when they're caught inside of it. So, really cool, not very helpful in a lot of cases, but still very cool nonetheless. Oh, that looks so much better. Hey, look at that. Sheer difference between the two. I just don't know how I missed a whole plate on that. That is very beautiful. Which Pokeball would you like to see us print next? Day 30 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. It's really funny because when I mentioned my continuation video of this series, I pointed out that I thought I finished all of the canon or real Pokeballs, and to this day I'm still finding Pokeballs that I missed, so if it feels kind of like I'm bouncing back and forth from real to fake fan-made Pokeballs, just know that I kind of forgot that there was a lot I missed, so let's do this one today. And for today's Pokeball, we're going to be making the Nest Ball. Not to be confused with the Net Ball, which is what we did in the past. The Nest Ball was also introduced in the Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald games. And very similar to the Level Ball, it does the opposite. It catches Pokemon that are lower levels. Ooh, that snapped together really nice. I know, and I say this every single time I use them, I have been abusing this gold, man. I gotta stop using it, but man, it looks so good. There we have it. Which Pokeball do you want us to print next? Day 31 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. Also, we have a brand new setup now. As you can see, we're still trying to move a few things around. I got a few random stuff in the back, got a few minis, but now you'll have an overhead view of all of our projects. So now you can see it all from up here. It's really cool. So let's make a Pokeball right here real quick. For today's Pokeball, we're going to be making the Dream Ball, which was introduced all the way back in the black and white era of the games. Very interesting. We haven't made one of these from those games yet. The Dream Ball actually has a Master Ball-like guaranteed catch rate in those respective games, but it actually has a better catch rate for Pokemon that are sleeping in later games. There we have it. Very nice. I need to reprint the little dot on the top because I'm pretty sure that is supposed to be a different color than pink. There we have it. Very cool. Which Pokeball should we print next? Day 32 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. Okay, another Pokeball. Still trying to figure out this whole setup thing. We put a little tarp behind there to actually give a nice little backdrop. But we're still trying to figure this out. But in the meantime, let's make this brand new Pokeball. And for today's Pokeball, we're going to be making the Strange Ball, which came out in Legends Arceus. This Pokeball does not serve a real purpose, but is actually a placeholder item for Pokemon that did not yet exist.
Ooh, okay. There we have it. This is the Strange Ball. This is before I did any of the research on what this Pokeball does. Really nice. I love that color. Very cool. And something different that I'm going to be doing this episode is actually having a voting system for the next Pokeball. Y'all can choose between these three right here. Now, I'm not going to show exactly what these are, but I'm sure some of them you can kind of figure out just by looking at the colors and the designs. But I wanted y'all to be able to choose the next Pokeball that we print. So, down in the comments below, comment which one of these three that you want to see next. Day 33 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. Another day, another print. On top of this, I also made this little random, like, flexible Groudon. I didn't really think he harbored an entire video, but I thought he looked really cool. He looks a little derpy because he can't stand, but I really like the way he turned out, so you'll probably see him in the background from now on. Pretty cool. Let's do this print.
For today's Pokeball, to get in the Halloween spirit, we're going to be making a very spooky one, as you can hear with the music in the background. We're going to be making a Halloween pumpkin Bulbasaur-inspired Pokeball. It's just a regular Bulbasaur Pokeball, but instead of the bulb on its back, it's a nice, kind of spooky little pumpkin. And it has a discoloration, which looks cool as well. Ooh. Man, I really like the colors on this. The original one was black, I'm pretty sure, the original model. But I wanted to use this silver. I'm a sucker for any silk colors on 3D prints. Which Pokeball should we print next?
Day 34 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. Let's do this. Another Pokeball. Also very similar to last time, I also printed another Groudon, this time the shiny version. So we're gonna kind of, you know, chill out here in the background while we print this. So let's get to it.
For today's Pokeball, we're going to be making the Park Ball, which was introduced all the way back in Generation 4, and is primarily used to catch Pokemon that came from the PAL Park. Not in it, but came from it. Which is very confusing. I don't really understand it.
And there we go. Ooh, I really like that combo. I didn't use a traditional white for this one. I actually used a more, I don't know, kind of like a ghost color. I think that's what it's called. Very nice. Which Pokeball should we print next? Day 35 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. I really hope that y'all aren't tired of this Pokeball series yet, because I still have way too many of these. You're gonna find out today that I'm kind of, you know, going off the rails with these. I've also been considering live streaming recently, so maybe we'll try that out. Well, today, let's make this Pokeball.
And for today's Pokeball, we're going to be making a very interesting one. This is called the Captain's Pokeball, which has only had about, like, one anime appearance. It's just a blue and white Pokeball. There's not really much known about it other than its coloration. Ooh, and there we have it. Honestly, I don't really know much about this Pokeball. I saw it on, like, a Reddit post when looking up more Pokeballs to print. And this was one of them, so I was like, oh, it looked pretty legit, you know, Captain's Pokeball looked pretty specific. So, I don't know, maybe this is real. From my research, there isn't much said about it, so who knows. And with that, which Pokeball should we print next?
Day 36 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. Also, don't mind all the Christmas stuff in the background. It literally is Halloween Day. And we've been making a lot of, like, Christmassy type prints. Obviously, y'all haven't seen those from my end because I've just been doing the Pokeball series. But yeah, we have these little, like, whatever these are. So they're pretty cool. But let's make this Pokeball instead.
Another simple Pokeball today. We're going to be making the manga and the anime version of the Safari Ball.
There we go. This right here is the beta version of the Safari Ball. Now, it did have the little, like, S. I think it's also the manga version as well, but it's better known as the beta version. It's supposed to have a little S on there, but still very simple. I love that green, though. Very Christmassy. Ironic that we have all that stuff in the background. And with that, which Pokeball would you like to see next? Day 37 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. Let's make another Pokeball, shall we? But before that, a lot of people have been asking me for a Rayquaza to go with the Groudons that we made. And from that same little model section, same guy made a little Rayquaza, and he's like a little fidget guy. He's a happy little guy. Look at him go. But enough about him. Let's get to this Pokeball.
And for today's Pokeball, we're going to be making the Team Rocket Leader Pokeball. Not to be mistaken with the regular Team Rocket Pokeball. This Pokeball is specifically used by the leaders of the group, more known as specifically just Giovanni.
Oh, I love those colors. Man. That just looks so menacing. Like, what is up with that? That just looks so scary. Colors look incredible. With this Pokeball, which one would you like to see me print next? Day 38 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. This one's going to be a little bit different today. This isn't going to be a Pokeball, this is going to be a Pokecube. I'll kind of talk about what this is here in a little bit when I do my little voiceover. So I'll let my time lapse tell y'all a little bit about this one.
And for today's Pokeball, we're going to be making the Ultra Ball from Pokemon Quest, which is a action-adventure RPG pixel game that came out a few years ago.
And there we go. It's just so funny. I love it. It's actually really well made. I really like that. It's just so silly. It's a cube Ultra Ball. Very cool. Which Pokeball would you like to see us print next? Day 39 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. That's right, I did not abandon this just yet. I know it's been a while since I've made a Pokeball printing video, but I kind of figured to kind of check these out again because we haven't done one in a while. So let's make this new one, shall we?
I know, it's been a long time since we've done one of these, but I wanted to bring this back in a very special fashion. Today we're going to be making a shiny Magnemite type Pokeball. I think I'll mention this later in the video, but it is really funny to think about that a Magnemite themed Pokeball just looks like Magnemite. So you'll see that later, but I really love the way this thing turned out. The screws actually screw into his head, which sounds horrifying if it wasn't for the fact that it was a Magnemite, but I absolutely love the way this thing turned out. I also have a regular Magnemite ready to go, so I may also make a video on that, but we'll see. I don't know if I will, maybe not. I also have a lot of other Pokeballs that I have ready to go, ready to make videos, so stay tuned for that. I got a lot more stuff planned with this series, so don't worry about me ending it just yet.
And there we have it. I really like this. It's all like, you might as well not even make it a Pokeball. It's just a shiny Magnemite. Look at that gold. It's almost a bronze. Really nice. Which Pokeball would you like me to see print next? Day 40 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. Now you might ask yourself, oh, didn't we do this one already? That's what you sound like. No, we actually did not. There's going to be a little bit of a different Pokeball that we haven't done yet. Of a Pokeball we have done. You'll see what I mean in a second.
And for today's Pokeball, we're actually doing one that's quite similar from one we've done in the past, just with a little twist to it. I can't really spoil what it exactly is just yet because we're obviously still building it. But this is going to be a different version of the Ultra Ball that we have made in the past. The creator of all these files started making these new ones, these tinier versions, so I wanted to test these out for videos.
And there we have it. Now, as you can see, actually, let me get the regular size one. Now, it may be a little confusing just because we already did the Ultra Ball, but here is the original Ultra Ball we did. This is the regular version. This right here is actually a ornament for Christmas tree. You're supposed to unplug this little top piece and then put the thread in there so you can hang it up on your tree. Looks really nice. I wish I still had some of the gold. I know I abused that gold quite a bit. Also, I don't know what happened here with this weird kind of ghost white, but either way, it turned out really nice. Stay tuned for the next Pokeball printing video. Day 41 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. I'm not really sure where the lid went and why this one is so messy, but doesn't really matter. Let's make this new Pokeball. There we have it. This is just a regular little ornament premiere ball. Because I came prepared this time, I do have the original one we made for one of our days, and I don't know, it's just kind of silly. You can almost put it inside this one. So probably I'll try to figure out how to put the little thread in there and hang that up. It did have a little weird malfunction in the line. I don't know how that happened, but it's whatever. It still looks really nice. Which Pokeball should we print next? Day 42 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. We got another Pokeball for y'all today. So I'm not really gonna lie to y'all, this is probably the most ambitious Pokeball we've ever made. There are a lot of pieces in here. I know you already know who it is just from last video and this alone, but this is gonna be a little annoying, not gonna lie, but let's get to it. Now, I really don't have much to say about this Pokeball, again, being that it's a Pokemon-themed Pokeball. I don't really know what to talk about in these segments. But oh yeah, did you know that Eevee still doesn't have evolutions in Poison typings, Dragon, Fighting, which I think is kind of crazy. To this day, we have I don't know how many generations of this game, yet they're just not trying to dish those out. It's kind of odd, kind of weird. Kind of like this Pokeball. Okay, you're gonna hold here, right? I don't want to glue you. You're not gonna spill on me. And there we have it. We got the Eevee Pokeball. This was kind of crazy. The button's not really hanging out in here. Looks a little funky, but it looks kind of nice when you're holding it. I let it go, and it's just all gonna crumble in my hands, but it still looks really nice. I like the way this thing turned out. And with that, which Pokeball should we print next? Day 43 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. Let's make another Pokeball today. Apologize for the lack of videos recently. I've been very busy with school's finals. Also, I have a ginormous printing project that I have kind of in the works right now, so we'll probably see something about that hopefully by the end of the week. I'm not going to spoil exactly what that is like I've been spoiling the other projects, but I'll let you know there's something big coming. There is something big coming. So, stay tuned for that. Let's make this instead. And for today's Pokeball, we're going to be making yet another ornament version of the Pokeballs we know and love. We've already made the Great Ball, so why not make the ornament version of it? Have any ideas of what we should make next? Let us know at the end of the video. There we have it! We have the mini Great Ball. I actually really like this series, but let's compare it to the original one real quick. As you can see, it's day and night, obviously not only with the size, but just also the colors too. I really wish I still had some of the metallic red, and it's also metallic blue. I only had matte for both colors, but it still looks really nice. Then I also need to figure out a way to put the little hook in here so I can actually hang it up on a tree or put it somewhere else instead of just sitting there. But nonetheless, still very cool. With that, which Pokeball should we print next? Day 44 of printing every single Pokeball until we run out of Pokeballs to print. Wow, that was actually really loud. Another day, another Pokeball. Let's get to it. I hope everyone had a really nice Christmas. I know I did. Comment down below anything y'all might have gotten. Definitely really exciting to see what people were doing, what people were celebrating, how people were celebrating. So yeah, I hope everyone had a really nice break today. So instead, let's do this little Pokeball.
And for today's Pokeball, we're going to be making another ornament Pokeball. This time, the actual original Pokeball. Very simple, I know, but I love making these little ornaments. I need to put them up somewhere. Maybe we'll make a video about that. We'll see. Maybe, maybe not.
And there we go, yet another ornament Pokeball. I've been doing a lot of these, and I'm going to make other new regular Pokeballs, or just try to do something else with this series, but these are just so simple. I like doing these. It's just nice little tiny ones. Like they don't even fit in the palm of my hand. Well, I guess they do, but they barely fit in the palm of my hand. Very nice, very cool. And with that, which Pokeball should we print next? Day 45 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. Oh man. I know we've done this Pokeball before, and again, I know y'all have seen what it is, so you already kind of know what you're in for this video, but the last one we did of this guy was really bad, and you'll see a comparison at the end of the video. It was rough. So let's do a little remake of one we've already made before.
And for today's Pokeball, we're going to be remaking the Beast Ball from the Ultra Sun and Moon games. Or from the Sun and Moon era games, including the Ultra Sun and Moon games. I realized last second just how ugly mine turned out. You'll see here in a second, but wanted to remake it.
And there we go. The 2.0 Beast Ball. Or well, 2.0 for us at least. Because this is our brand new Beast Ball. And oh wow. How did I post this? That's crazy. I don't know how I posted this. That is actually insane. But obviously we get better with time and practice. As you can literally see. This is evidence as you may need. There we go. And with that, which Pokeball should we print next? Day 46 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. So that TikTok ban. Do we talk about that? Do we say anything about that, or do we just kind of like move on and act like nothing happened? I think we should go with that second option. You know, let's just make a Pokeball and act like it's all normal.
And for today's Pokeball, we're going to be making the Team Magma Pokeball. I was not aware, like I mentioned, of this Pokeball existing. I've only seen the Captain Pokeball, which was related to Aqua, but I never have seen this one. So it was a really nice surprise to see this as a free STL file on Bamboo Handy.
There we have it, the Team Magma Pokeball. I was really excited when I saw this because I didn't even know this one existed. When I went on, it was like Pinterest or something, and I went online to see all the different Pokeball designs, and I did not see this one. And it looks very, very cool. Very nice. With that, which Pokeball should we print next? Day 47 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. Yet another Pokeball by yours truly. Today's gonna be kind of a weird one because this one has never existed before. So let's make it and talk about it.
And for today's Pokeball, we're going to be making the Hisuian version of the Premier Ball. I am very excited for Legend ZA. I don't think I've ever been this excited for a Pokemon game in a really long time, and we haven't heard any news about this. So, Game Freak, you better hurry up, man. I'm just saying, I'm losing my mind. I'm tweaking out.
And there we, oh, that looks really nice. We have the Hisuian Premier Ball. That turned out a lot nicer than I thought it would be. Look at that. And with this Pokeball completed, which one should we print next? Day 48 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print. And that's on the floor. How is everyone doing today? It's been a while since we've done a Pokeball. I have been slowly trying to let these build up with the STL files. Got a very special one today. I really like to look at this one, so let's get into it.
And for today's Pokeball, we're going to be making the Hisuian version of the Great Ball. I absolutely love the way this thing got put together, and every time I make one of the Hisuian versions, it reminds me how we still haven't seen a thing about ZA yet, so it makes me sad, but excited nonetheless.
There we have it, the Hisuian Great Ball. This part didn't really sit very flush, but I'm not gonna mess with that. And then as a comparison, we also have the original. Oh, the actual contrast is insane. Very cool. And with that, which Pokeball should we print next?
Day 49 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print.
Oh, you were not supposed to see that just yet. Let's make this little smaller version of that Pokeball. This is supposed to be a little build-up to what you just saw over there. For an upcoming video, I wanted to take some time to print that and get it ready and make a video for y'all. But this is going to be a little sneak peek to what we're going to be making here in the next few weeks or so. So let's make this one and talk a little bit about it.
And for today's Pokeball, we're going to be making one based upon Squirtle. Definitely not my favorite starter. Don't hold me to it. I'm just not going to lie. Never was a big Squirtle fan. But like I mentioned before, this is a build-up to a bigger print that you saw earlier. So it's safe to say you'll probably know who it is already.
There we have it, a little Squirtle Pokeball. It's not as flush as I want it to be. I'm sure that might affect some of y'all's OCD? What? OCD with how it's not fully flushed, but I really like the colors on that. Very nice. And with that, which Pokeball should we print next?
Day 50 of printing every single Pokeball until we run out of Pokeballs to print.
Damn. So, yeah, the reception of the last two videos were kind of insane. Not gonna lie. Thank y'all again for that. I wanted to get a little personal with y'all. Not too personal, though. If you're new around here, this is something we like to do. Every Friday, we like to end the week with a Pokeball that we like to print. So if you're following me for all the Pokemon stuff, you're really gonna like these. So, let's kind of talk about this one as we make it.
And for today's Pokeball, we're going to be making the Team Magma Pokeball. Not going to lie, I think Team Magma is still to this day probably one of my favorite teams. Not going to lie. You can call me crazy. Kind of stand out to me. I like the colors too.
And there we have it. This is supposed to be, from my understanding, the, like, grunt Team Magma Pokeball. We do have, and notice probably, these are actually two different models. I'm not entirely sure which one's which. I think this is the grunt, and I think this is the leader. I don't know. Y'all can correct me in the comments, but either way, they look really nice. I love that pink that I chose. Look at that. And as per every episode, which Pokeball should we print next?
Day 51 of printing every single Pokeball until I run out of Pokeballs to print.
Not gonna lie to y'all, the backdrop, as y'all can see here, is getting a little crowded. And I need y'all's opinions on that. I don't know how to organize that. You got Big Man Blastoise over here, you got Tweak Duck over there. I don't really know what to do over here. So, any suggestions for that is definitely appreciated. But until then, let's kind of put this Pokeball together.
And for today's Pokeball, we're going to be making the Hisuian version of the Ultra Ball. Arguably, probably one of the prettiest Pokeballs I think I've ever seen, period. You'll see here in a second, but damn, it looks really nice. Looks really, really good.
God, that looks... Oh, that part's coming off. That is beautiful. Oh my gosh. I love the different pieces they use to actually encapsulate kind of the outer lining. And this little design right here. This is gorgeous, man. Absolutely beautiful.